Number 15, the Zozo Demon. Like a real-life version of Pazuzu from The Exorcist, Zozo is said to be a demon most commonly contacted through Ouija boards. Many people worldwide have claimed to come in contact with the demon Zozo, and have warned it is not a being to take lightly or be provoked. While its origin is unknown, reports of this malevolent being have dated back to the early 19th century. People know they have contacted the real Zozo when it spells out its name in what is called a rainbow fashion, meaning the slider moves in an arched fashion, spelling Z-O-Z-O over and over again. YouTube is full of videos of people attempting to contact Zozo, with one even showing a woman becoming possessed and frantically laughing as she convulses on the floor.
Zozo. Zozo the clown. That is so creepy. What the? Monica, what are you doing?
Her friends stunned and terrified as they attempt to bring her out of the state. Ghost Adventures hosted an entire episode on the Zozo Demon, with strange occurrences being documented throughout their session. These include abnormal behavior of the crew and residents of the home, and unexplained knockings from around the house. One disturbing moment occurs when member Nick Groff enters the house alone, and suddenly hears all the dogs in the neighborhood simultaneously howl in almost perfect unison.
Weird in here, guys. Weird in here, guys.
For those who wish to contact Zozo, it is recommended you don't, since it is an unforgivable force who possesses its victims. Number 14, the church piano. For many, churches are seen as a place of refuge from evil and a place of worship. On the other hand, churches are some of the most common haunts. In November 2011, a video was uploaded to YouTube of two friends walking through the woods at night towards an old church. The two enter and begin exploring the various rooms, including the sermon area. After entering an adjacent room, the two suddenly begin hearing piano music playing, despite them being the only two people there.
Oh no. Oh my god, turn it off, turn it off. Listen, listen. Oh shit, that's fucking piano. Is that piano? Come on. Should we go out there? Is that door open? Is that door open?
Freaked out, the two enter the main room and make a run for the opposite end towards the exit, then flee back out of the woods. Although the encounter was no doubt terrifying, the two men managed to joke and laugh, albeit nervously, as they attempt to process what they were witnessing. Skeptics have pondered if the piano was electric, but these ideas have been quickly brushed off since the church appears derelict and with no power. No other news surrounding the footage has been released, and the origin of the music remains a mystery. Number 13, the Pink Lady. Greencastle, Indiana is home to an abandoned mansion just outside the town's limits. Two enthusiasts, Guy Winters and Terry Lambert, decided to venture out past dark to explore the derelict house after hearing the place was haunted. The two videotaped the adventure, which just happened to be during a thunderstorm. Winters and Lambert noted various eerie pieces of graffiti, with one saying "This is hell" on the door. Lambert took a series of pictures of the windows from outside and more inside when suddenly Winters felt he was being watched and began to smell a mixture of sulfur and roses. The two heard a series of bumps from around them, which caused them to flee the house and back to their van. When the two got around to examining their photos, they discovered they captured the apparition of a woman wearing pink peering out of a second-story window, and again in the door frame. Photo experts analyzed the photos and determined they were in no way altered. Further analysis emphasized the lights and darks in the photo, and in a terrifying twist made the face of the apparition to appear to be that of a skull. Winters and Lambert continue to use the evidence as proof ghosts exist, and the images are frequently circulated today. Number 12, Old Crown Pub Ghost. Located in Birmingham, UK, the Old Crown Pub was established during the 14th century, leaving the pub full of history. However, not all of its history is good, and with it still lingers entities from the past. Patrons and staff have reported various encounters with strange forces, from quick glimpses of shadows to face-to-face confrontations with full-body apparitions. The Old Crown became a national sensation when the bar owner and staff released CCTV footage of several beverages crashing to the ground with no explanation as to why. Patrons and staff witnessed the incident and were stunned as they investigated what happened. No one present saw anything suspicious. Landlord Syrian Healy was unconvinced the occurrence was supernatural, instead believing patrons were fooling around and accidentally knocked the bottle over. However, he was convinced after reviewing the CCTV footage, losing a £20 bet in the process. The identities of the spirits within the Old Crown are unidentified, but could be anyone who stayed and worked on the premises during its 650 years of operation. Number 11. Exorcism of Carl Lawson. In the town of Wilder, Kentucky is a well-known country and western nightclub known as Bobby Mackey's Music World, owned by musician Bobby Mackey since 1978. The nightclub is notorious for being haunted by malevolent spirits, known to attack customers and workers at random and without provocation. The entrance to the club even has a warning posted to visitors, stating it is in no way liable for any injuries inflicted by paranormal activity. The former caretaker of the club, Carl Lawson, used to live in an upstairs suite of the building and would sleep with a loaded shotgun next to his bed. The spirits began an obsession with Lawson, and soon he began to display abnormal behavior. It was soon determined Lawson was possessed, and a priest was brought in to conduct an exorcism. The entire ordeal was captured on tape for evidence, and Lawson is shown expressing anger and aggression towards the priest.
There ain't a goddamn fucker gonna ever come in this place again and try to run any of us off.
Oh, yes.
Because there's thousands of us here.
I don't care. I'm telling
We
you.
were been here for almost 6,000
I'm
years.
telling you that you gotta leave tonight.
I don't have to go nowhere.
Yes, you do.
Constantly shouting, "This body is mine." He even begins to whimper at one point, but in a woman's voice. It is believed he is being used at this point by Pearl Bryan, who was murdered in the building in the 1920s in what is believed to be a satanic ritual. Carl survived the exorcism and the spirits were cast out of him. He quit as caretaker soon after, but returned briefly to be interviewed by members of Ghost Adventures. Lawson passed away on January 27, 2012 of a heart attack, and his friends and former co-workers wonder if he was ever able to fully escape Bobby Mackey's, or if he himself is now one of the many spirits within its walls. Number 10. The Ghost on the Stairs. The Queen's House in Greenwich, UK is part of a series of national museums located around the British Isles, and was once the home of Anne of Denmark, the Queen consort between 1603 and 1619. In 1966, Reverend Ralph Hardy was visiting Queen's House and decided to take a photograph of the staircase. Upon developing the photos, he was shocked when he discovered a woman appeared holding the railing with her right arm stretched towards the top of the stairs. The figure appears to be a woman wearing a robe of some kind, but the face is obscured beyond recognition. The negatives were sent to Kodak for analysis, and experts determined they were in no way tampered with, concluding it to be genuine. While there is speculation as to the identity of the person in the photo, there is no conclusion as to what was captured on film. The photo is a true example of paranormal activity and remains one of the most haunting ever taken. Number 9. The Haunted Stores. Not all ghosts will appear in places we expect, such as historical buildings, castles, or battlefields, and can haunt the most bizarre locations. In 2007, a video appeared on YouTube of what is alleged to be a haunting at a Blockbuster Video in Mexico. Not much else is known about the video, but it shows security footage of videos being knocked off shelves as an employee stalks them after hours. The lack of information on the video is the main point for skeptics calling out its authenticity, but this isn't the only haunting caught in a store on security cameras. In January 2015, another video was released in a bookstore where security cameras captured a book levitate off a shelf and open, as if a ghost was reading it. It's scary to think of hauntings not being exclusive to locations we expect, and the videos will definitely be chilling to those who work alone during the closing shifts. If any of our viewers have noticed objects moved or misplaced around the workplace, remember these videos before you blame your co-workers. Number 8. Spectre of Newby Church. The Church of Christ the Counselor is an Anglican church founded in 1870, located in Skelton-cum-Newby, UK. The church is the location of one of the most famous photographs of a ghost. In 1963, Reverend K.F. Lord was taking photographs of the church for archival purposes. Upon developing the photos, Lord discovered one depicting the tabernacle had a ghostly entity standing at the right of the photograph. The apparition has a truly terrifying look, resembling a robed man with strange cloth mask covering its face. Those who've analyzed the photo have said the figure appears to be wearing the robes of a monk dating back to the 16th century. Furthermore, the figure appears to stand at 9 feet tall, determined by analysis of the height of the furniture in the background. The photo remains in the paranormal archives as an important piece of evidence of the existence of ghosts and the paranormal. Number 7. The Junkyard Ghost. Workers at an Oklahoma service lot got a shock in 2002 when CCTV captured a strange apparition apparently dancing around the lot late at night. The apparition jumps around various points on the camera as stunned security looks on. At one point, one of the security team leaves to investigate, but by the time he arrives, the spirit is gone. The footage exploded in popularity and was featured on various local news outlets. However, skeptics studied the footage over and over, and many claim it is simply an insect flying around and the light from the yard are reflecting on the camera to create the body-like figure seen. The owners of the lot had no explanation of the footage, but all admitted they were spooked by what was seen. The footage was most famously featured on MSNBC's Caught on Camera episode titled Mysteries and Monsters in April 2013, once again sending the video viral and unleashing a fresh debate on its authenticity. Number 6. The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall. Within this Norfolk, UK country house lives a lonely spirit who wanders the halls. Raynham Hall was once owned by members of the Townshend family for 4 centuries. In September 1936, photographer Hubert C. Provant and Indir Shira were taking photos for Country Life magazine. While setting up photographs of the main staircase, Shira saw an apparition slowly descending the stairs towards them and urged Provant to take a photo. He did, and to their luck and amazement, managed to capture a near-perfect form of a hooded figure in the center of the frame. Experts and enthusiasts believe the ghost's identity to be that of Lady Dorothy Walpole. Walpole died on March 29, 1705, of what is believed to be smallpox, and is said to be one of the most active resident spirits on the grounds, and is known as the Brown Lady because witnesses describe her as wearing brown robes. It would be no exaggeration to suggest the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall to be the most iconic photograph in the paranormal archives, and it continues to be a hot topic of discussion and subject of lore today. Number 5. The Pantry Ghost. Starting in January of 2007, a series of videos began to appear on the YouTube channel Sarami127, which shows a ghost of a girl in the family's pantry. The girl appears briefly and looks out the glass before vanishing, and at times the door will open and close on its own. Not much was known about the incidents, and eventually the videos stopped uploading. However, in 2012, a trailer for a documentary about the family's experiences in the house, as well as more videos not uploaded to the channel, and interviews with the family members. Since the beginning, the video's authenticity have been called into question, and even more so since the documentary's release. Many claim the videos were nothing more than publicity for the film, but others have stated the time between the YouTube videos and the documentary are too far in between, meaning the production team would have been extremely dedicated to their indie project and may not have even had the funds to do so. The idea of advanced video software being used has also been debated, but the videos are truly convincing in being actual evidence of ghosts and a possible afterlife. Number 4. Lord Combermere's Ghost. Wellington Stapleton Cotton was a British soldier who served in Canada during the Papua New Rebellion in 1837, and later a conservative politician in the British House of Commons before being inducted into the House of Lords as the second Viscount Combermere in 1865. In 1891, Lord Combermere was struck by a horse-drawn carriage and died 7 weeks later from coronary thrombus in St. James Palace, where he was living. Not long after his death, photographer Cybele Corbett, Lord Combermere's sister-in-law, was taking photos of the palace during the Lord's funeral. She set up her camera in the Abbey library and left it for an hour before retrieving it. Upon developing the photos, she found a strange figure seated in a large armchair to the left of the photograph. To her amazement, the figure appeared to be that of Lord Combermere. People speculated a person entered the room and sat down while the photo was being taken, and even theorized it was a double exposure shot. However, the chances of the subject being seated directly on the chair is unlikely, and many have included this in the archives as further proof of ghosts. Number 3. Gas station entity. Workers at a gas station in Parma, Ohio captured a remarkable specter on their CCTV late one autumn night in 2007. A large blue apparition appeared on the cameras and floated around the pump area for half an hour before disappearing. This is the first and so far only instance of a haunting at the gas station since its opening, and people have continued to speculate its origin. The witness of the event, Amit Abuzira, believes it to be the spirit of his deceased nephew, who passed away 3 weeks before the footage was captured from an accidental fall. Abuzira claims the entity was visible to his own eyes, saying he saw it after looking out the window. Skeptics believe the footage was altered in some way, or it was simply a glitch, but this would not explain those who witnessed the apparition with their own eyes. The story even picked up airtime on CNN, and people flocked to the station in order to see the footage firsthand, which workers have proudly shown to those seeking an explanation. Number 2. Freddie Jackson's last group photo. Freddie Jackson was a mechanic in the Royal Air Force during the First World War. Jackson was killed in 1919 after accidentally being struck by a moving airplane propeller while working at the HMS Daldis training facility. 2 days later, members of Sir Victor Goddard's squadron, who had served at the HMS Daldis, gathered for a group photo. Upon close inspection of the photo, experts noticed a figure partially obscured behind one of the airmen, and when the group saw the photo, they identified the figure as Jackson. While most would brush this off as a mistake or hoax, it is interesting to note Jackson's funeral was held the same day the photo was taken. The photo did not see publication until 1975, and the story behind its eerie yet charming backstory became well known. It appears Jackson's final wish was to be included in the photo with his fellow airmen. Since then, there has been no reports of Jackson haunting. Therefore, it may be safe to assume he was able to move on after the flashbulb went off. Number 1. Ghosts of Gettysburg. The Battle of Gettysburg was the most deadly battle in the whole American Civil War, with casualties of over 20,000 on both sides. The battle was also seen as the turning point of the war, and the deciding battle in the Confederate defeat and surrender. It should come as no surprise to people the site of Gettysburg is said to be one of the most haunted locations in the United States, as well as hosting some of the most active spirits. Several videos have appeared online of apparitions walking along the hills, and people tell stories of witnessing men in Civil War uniforms standing at attention several yards away before vanishing, and hearing the sounds of cannons and muskets going off in the distance. When there are no reenactments going on or other explanations available, Gettysburg is a National Historic Site and brings in thousands of tourists every year, which explains why the area is so famous for the number of ghost sightings every year. Sadly, these soldiers who died at Gettysburg cannot seem to find peace in the afterlife, and they all wait at attention for the order to charge or to fire. Thanks for checking out this countdown. Be sure to subscribe as we upload new videos every week. It'd really mean a lot if you join the notification squad by clicking this gear button, checking this box, and then clicking save. See ya.